time it is proud to present Title Time. And here's your hosts, Rich, George, and Jason.
Happy Sunday morning to everybody. I'm your host, Jason, and here we are on Title Time. With me, as always, my boy, my brother from another mother, the only guy who matches our 7-foot-tall Patreon, Rich. How you doing, buddy?
I was wondering if anybody was going to catch it. I was like, dang, nobody's going to say anything on that.
No, I laughed at it. So where on his 7-foot high man, where do you think you'd actually come up to him? Or can you say it on this show?
Yeah, I can. Probably his sternum.
Sternum. Okay, that's a good way to say his.
Real quick, I want to start out. I know we kind of jumped into this, but I want to welcome the newest Title Tribe members, to All Claw, Dynamine, AJ Sloan 34, that just as of maybe 10 minutes ago, and Diz McFly. If I missed anybody else, I apologize. But welcome to the Title Tribe.
Yeah, welcome one and all. We appreciate you joining us. And before we get into anything else, I do want to mention below us, below George, below Rich and I, we got George. Say hi to the people, George.
Hey, what's going on, people? No, I was on mute, and I was trying to get it to unmute, and I was on a different screen, and I was doing a bunch of different things here in the background. What's going on, people? Super excited. Can't wait for my game of the week, the Dolphins versus the Eagles.
Anyway, so we are going to talk about the game of the week. And so, Rich, what is your game of the week this week?
Let me think. This is a real hard one. Let's say Dolphin Eagles. I know George wants to jump into this, but obviously it's going to be everybody's. I mean, it's going to be a majority of everybody. I mean, it's going to be the Eagles against the Dolphins. Come on. How can that not be the game of the week, man?
If you guys are watching for the first time, if you're one of our new members, the reason I let George go there, because we discussed this before the show. The rules of that question are always, because look, I would always pick the Bucs game. Rich would always pick the Raiders game. George would always pick the Dolphins game. Justin probably never would pick the Colts game because who wants to watch that garbage? But the rules of this question are you can't pick your own team. And just because the Dolphins are in a good matchup doesn't mean you can break those rules. So Rich, I know you went ahead and picked it anyway. I know you went ahead and picked it, and that's well within your right. Justin, what's your game of the week this week?
I'm sure somebody already said the Eagles and the Dolphins, but that's obviously the game of the decade, and or not the decade, but the game of the year, I should say. And that was my game of the week on the flagship show on Tuesday night. So I kind of have to stick with that. Don't worry, I'm not going to choose the Colts game because they play against the Human Predator today. So I will not be watching the game for the first time. And I don't remember when the last time it was that I missed a Colts game. I even watched the Colts game the night of my wedding night. Like, I don't miss the Colts game. So this is and it was a preseason game. So I don't miss Colts games. So this one hurts me.
All right. So George, what do you got for the game? What game are you looking forward to this week?
I'm looking forward to. I already mentioned it. It's definitely the Dolphins and the Chargers.
All right, so he can't follow the rules. I'm putting him in timeout.
Game.
And then
so it's definitely the Dolphins and the Eagles game of the week.
All right.
But if I have to follow, I'll say Kansas City and Chargers. That's not going to be nearly as good as Dolphins Eagles, but it's still going to be a good game.
Yeah.
The other one I'm looking forward to is the Lions versus the Ravens. DVOA number 2 and number 4 teams this year. So like I'm really looking forward to that. Go ahead, Justin.
Now, for personal reasons, since everybody is probably choosing the Dolphins and the Eagles, if I had to choose a different game of the week for myself personally, I have a ton of fantasy football implications coming down to Monday night this week with San Francisco at Minnesota. So the game itself, maybe not so much, but for fantasy reasons, there's a lot of fantasy points out there.
It's a lot of fun too because Christian McCaffrey dinged up. You don't know if he's going to go, and then you've got the roulette of who could be the running back for them if they don't if McCaffrey doesn't go. So yeah, absolutely.
Which I'm sure I might have some questions about later.
All right, before we move on to anything else, a little bit of housekeeping, then we're going to get to some of these comments. First thing I do want to get to a comment first from our dear leader. So we've got Mom on the show with the beard. Dad is likely going to join us and make an announcement later. So stay tuned for that. Woo! Yeah. And before we get into, we got a couple comments. No, we don't have questions yet, but we can do Justin's questions first. I do want to mention we have a gilded chat. As Rich highlighted at the beginning of the show, we had several new members this week. We have over 200 people in the gilded chat talking about football. At any given time, you have full access to the title for the Toilets title team. We answer your start-sit questions during the week. We answer your pickup questions during the week. Anything you want to talk about, we talk about. We shoot the crap. We just have a whole lot of fun in that chat. We talk during the games live. So if you want access to one of the most interactive fantasy football teams out there, hit up toiletstitles@gmail.com and we'll get you into our gilded chat. It's kind of like Discord, but better. The other thing I want to mention is we have a separate Patreon chat for our Patreon members. And what I always tell everybody in this is that we have a tier level for every salary. So we start at $1.50 and work your way up, all the way up to the George will come over and whisper Eagles, Dolphins in your ear over and over and over again tier. He will fly across the country to do that, depending on the cost and, whatever.
Across the country. I'm not going to fly. I'll drive.
And if you live super close, he'll do it for dirt cheap.
Listen, the other thing is you don't want him driving. I've ridden with him to Ohio. It's kind of rough. Anyway, so we will do some more. Justin, why don't you talk about Rival Fantasy?
Yeah. Okay. So Rival Fantasy is our sponsor for the network. So Rival is the new evolution in fantasy sports betting, and it is exactly what it sounds like when I say that. So like it's fantasy football betting, but with a totally different twist. So like, for instance, Rich came on Friendly Fire again for a second week in a row. And I think like 3 out of the last 4 weeks or something like that. But he's been helping us out and subbing in. And but he and I made a bet on 2 other people's fantasy football matchup. So like just like Rich said on the show, if you remember back in the day, like maybe even still now, but who uses Yahoo anymore? But Yahoo used to have this thing where you could click on which team you thought was going to win their fantasy matchup. Well, now you can click on them and bet $5 and somebody can accept your bet or bet any amount really. And so Rich and I placed a $5 bet on somebody else's matchup that we're not even involved with. So it adds a little extra twist. They've got fantasy bingo where if you choose the right wide receiver the correct wide receiver to score a touchdown in the second quarter or something, like then you fill in your square, and if you fill in enough squares, you win bingo. Just a whole lot of different crazy games, so that if your fantasy team is actually out of competition and you just want to continue to try to win money in fantasy football, it's joinrival.com/title tribe right down below me there. Your first deposit of up to $200 will be matched, plus an additional $25 added to your gambling account just for using that link, joinrival.com/title tribe.
Very cool. Thank you, Justin. Thank you. We will get to some of these comments real quick. So Joe Clark says, getting closer to the halfway mark of the season. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Oh, man, it feels like just yesterday we were in the off season. And here we are, week 7 already.
I got some breaking news here, which is actually kind of important. All
right.
I gotta pull it right up here. It's being tweeted by Adam Schefter. Chiefs special teams coach Dave Taub revealed this week that the team's regular punter, Tommy Townsend, is dealing with a left knee injury. Normally, we really don't care about punters on this show, except can anybody tell me who the backup punter is on the Kansas City Chiefs?
Patrick Mahomes.
Patrick Mahomes. So if he can't go, there's a good chance we're going to see Patrick Mahomes out there as the punter this week. So, yeah,
That's hilarious.
I just thought, like I said, normally we really don't care about punters on this show, but when the backup punter is Patrick Mahomes, we suddenly care.
Hey, man, we're bringing back the 1940s.
You know what? It'll make a good highlight reel for sure.
And I'm watching a video right now of Patrick Mahomes actually out there punting the ball during practice this week.
Nice. Shouldn't they have just signed another punter?
The problem with that is,
I know it's a roster
if they sign
spot.
another punter, they gotta put him on the 53-man roster, and you have to cut somebody.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I mean,
but what happens if your franchise gets hurt trying to make a tackle?
Punting the ball.
Punt?
the good thing,
or just pulls a hammy punting the ball. Let's face
Yeah,
it, like
that's
that's
true.
not something he does normally.
Yeah.
it's not even that. Like, what about his ankle? Because we know he's dealing with an ankle injury.
You know what? You probably just have the kicker go out and do it. Even if it sucks, just let the kicker go do it.
I mean, I'd let Travis Kelce punt the ball before I let Patrick Mahomes.
That's a good point. It's a good point. All right, my son says hello. And then
What's up, Eli?
Yesterday was fun, Dad. Yeah. It was a great time. You know, these are the times we share. We share them on air.
Yep, there you go.
So, yes, yesterday was awesome, buddy. And we'll do it again soon. Duarte 5656 says good morning, and William says good morning as well. And then William says Dolphins today.
That's right.
Yeah, I'm not. The Eagles are going to win, but whatever. Okay, so let's do that before we get into
this
anything
is what
else.
I think of Jason's comment.
Let's get into that before anything else. Let's talk about it. George, I know you got the Dolphins. Rich, Dolphins or Eagles?
I am going Eagles.
Okay, I'm Eagles. Justin.
Dolphins, and I don't think it's going to be as close as everybody thinks it is. I've got them by 2 scores, at least.
2-2. So, well, I want to let's dig into that real quick. Why?
Because all right, so I've been saying it all season long on the flagship show and on several other shows, and I think I've even mentioned it here on this show earlier this season that the early season for the Eagles, their schedule was absolutely just super easy, and I get that the Dolphins have been as well. I understand that, but there's a
easier
huge difference.
Easier than the Eagles.
Okay, but there's a huge difference in the way that these two teams are treating these games or finishing these games. The Eagles are barely struggling to get by to beat Underwater Basket Weaving University out there on the field every single week. And the Dolphins are putting up 70 points against them. So
until they played one good team and they lost, what was it, George? Because I don't know it off the top of my head, but it was 2 scores or more, right? 48 to 20.
But so 48-20.
And who was that team? I can't remember.
Bills. And how did the Bills play against the Giants last week? It's not like the
Here's the thing.
The Bills have been lighting it up.
The Bills have not been lighting it up. The Bills scored 14 points on the Giants. The Dolphins dropped 30 on the Giants.
That's what I'm saying.
Like,
the Bills are not a great team either.
You know as well as I do, certain teams just have your number. Like, that's a thing in the NFL. There are certain teams that just have the opposing team's number. The Bills, not historically, but I would say for the last 5 years, have had the Dolphins' number. Like, the Dolphins are the worst against the Bills than any other team in the NFL. So I carry that with very, very little weight, knowing it was a division matchup, knowing that no matter how good the Dolphins are and how bad the Bills can be, those two teams just have each other's number. It's like when the Patriots were running Super Bowl after Super Bowl after Super Bowl. The Dolphins just, no matter how bad they were, they had the Patriots' number. they always split that season series 1-1. It did not matter. So I hold that game with very little weight. If you look at like opponents, they both played the Giants. The Bills struggled to beat the Giants. The Dolphins smoked the Giants.
Okay, can I finish tonight? Go ahead, you can finish.
Can I finish my thought that you asked me to throw out here, and then I got interrupted? Okay, all right. So here's the other part to it. Okay, it's the coaching staff. So I've been a very firm believer since I was in middle school of this little. I don't know, this thing that was embedded in my head. I don't know who it was that said it decades ago, but in the NFL, it's the players that play the game, and it's the players that win the game, and it's the players that lose the game the majority of the time. But a really good coaching staff will win about 3 games a year that they probably would have been a close game or should have lost. And a bad coaching staff will lose 3 games. I think this is one of those games for both of them. I think that the Dolphins actually have a really good coaching staff, and they're going to have their players ready to go, whereas the Eagles coaching staff has fallen apart since they lost their 2 best coaches, their offensive and defensive coordinator, and their head coach is going to get exposed this week. I think that's the big difference.
So I like Mike McDaniel. I actually am rooting for the Dolphins. I'll root for him all night. I just don't see it as far as it goes. We'll see. I hope, like I said, I'm rooting. I like that coaching staff. It's a Florida team. I hope they do very well. But I would be surprised if the Eagles don't win. Now, I don't know that it's going to be this. Justin going to have some explaining to do Tuesday night when the Eagles run the Dolphins out of the stadium. Thank you, Coach. I don't think that's. I don't think running them out of the stadium is a thing. But look, like I said, I'd love to see it. The Dolphins have been winning the way you'd want to see a team win, but they've played the worst teams in the league and to get there. So. See, playing against a good team. Rich, I haven't heard from you in a while, bud. Get in this.
Yeah, I apologize. I've been hitting the Twitter, getting people to come join and stuff like that. So I apologize. I kind of been zoned out. So you guys are talking about the Eagles-Dolphins game, right?
Yep.
So look, I've been seeing a lot of things, listening to radio and all kinds of stuff and everything. Here's my thought on it. Look, both great teams and stuff like that. Both have their advantages on how they're going to be played, okay? Look, Miami can throw the ball, right? We all know Eagles' defense is not the best at pass and stuff like that. But where they are good is run game and up the middle. And that's one place where Tua struggles at is pressure up the middle. I look to that to be a reason why I'm picking the Eagles and stuff. Miami's defense is not good at all overall. I mean, and they should be able to control the ground game, keep Miami's offense off the field. That's just my little 2 cents on the game and everything. So,
all right. Well, let's see. We got a couple of these questions coming in now. Uncle Steve says, is Aaron Jones safe to play? Absolutely.
I believe so.
He's expected to play, and they play against the Broncos.
Yeah, and then on top of that, look, I mean, I don't know what was the reasoning why they pulled them last week. I mean, they were supposed to be playing last week and everything last minute. I guess in warm-ups, maybe something happened but look, there's no better time now, even though he's fresh. Look, I know he's still probably a little dinged up and everything, but you are playing against the Denver Broncos and everything, and we've seen what the run game from the opposing teams have done against the Broncos. Hence Breece Hall per se. Yeah, look, I'm playing Aaron Jones this week. Dylan has been given the opportunity and he really hasn't shined and stuff like that. So that makes it even more of a point where, look, we should see more Aaron Jones. Yeah, Dylan's going to come in and everything, but it's going to be Aaron Jones time. Look, he could catch out of the backfield. Jordan Love needs that, I think. I think he needs that reception running back to help him out just a little bit more.
George?
Yeah, the Aaron Jones, you can absolutely, if he plays, absolutely play him, Steve. The Broncos are run defense in the NFL. They allow 5.3 yards per carry, 103 rushing yards per game, 203 combo, which is rushing and receiving yards per game, 32 running back touches per game, 12 running back touchdowns on the season. Denver has given up 15 PPR points 6 times on the season to running backs. 4 of the 6 have gone over 22 points. If Aaron Jones is playing, start him. Heck, you can even play A.J. Dillon in this matchup.
Yeah, I mean, you play both. You got to play both.
Yeah, you can play both.
So, heck, if I had both on my team, I would be playing both. And that's not something you can say often. And I think Justin agrees that'll be a consensus.
I can't think of very many running backs I'd start over him if he's playing, and it looks like he's playing.
So Brian Russick says, Addison or Rashee Rice? I have Mahomes at quarterback.
Well, because Mahomes is at the punting position today, I'm just because of that, I'm going Addison. I think, look, Addison over Rashee Rice. Look, I know Rashee Rice is getting some opportunities and everything, but with Jefferson out, we've already talked about this last week and everything. Look, he's going to have more opportunity than Rashee Rice and everything. So I don't think this is, I don't know, maybe because of matchup and everything, reason why you're asking this question, but I don't think there's any way that I'm setting Addison for Rashee Rice.
George?
Yeah, I'm going with Rashee Rice here. And it's mostly due to matchup. Rashee Rice last week, career high in yards and route runs. He should be facing PFF's 166th ranked cornerback. Last time I checked, if you're the 166th ranked cornerback in the NFL, you're probably not very good. Chiefs versus Chargers should be a very good matchup. Patrick Mahomes averages almost 3 passing touchdowns a game versus the Chargers. I like the opportunity there for Rashee Rice to get one of those. The issue I have with Jordan Addison, man, it's a tough matchup against the 49ers. They're top 5 ranked pass defense. I just without Justin Jefferson there to take away the top cornerback from the 49ers, and drawing all the attention that he draws, I just can't trust Jordan Addison over Rashee Rice this week.
Justin.
Yeah, so the 49ers are a top 5 pass defense overall. If you're talking just by like the NFL, the way that they determine the stats or whatever, but that's mostly just based strictly on yards. Against fantasy wide receivers in PPR, though, they're only 16th. They're kind of middle of the road. And for me personally, I'm going to take the guy on the team where they throw the ball nonstop, and they have a set priority. Like he's going to do his set checkdowns, and Addison is probably the number 2 wide receiver, maybe even the number 1 wide receiver on a lot of those checkdowns, given the Justin Jefferson injury, and they throw the ball a ton. So just by sheer opportunity, I'm going to go with Addison. But also, guys, let's think about the fact that they brought in the Chiefs traded to bring in McCole Hardman again this week from the Jets. They traded. I mean, it's like a late round draft swap, so they didn't give anything to get him. But there's a reason they're going out and trying to get other wide receivers, because there's not a solid number 1 on there. And it should be Rashee Rice, or it should be Sky Moore, or it should be Kadarius Toney, or it should be Marquez Valdez-Scantling. Like, I mean, there's just such a long list of receivers there, and it's never the same guy from week to week. So we're playing a crapshoot game here that it might be the guy that's actually on their website currently listed as the wide receiver 4 on their roster, on their depth chart. So don't give me none of that. I definitely want to have Addison.
Yeah, and I'm going to close it out real quick and just say I'm going to take Addison. He's got touchdowns in 4 of the 5 games he's played. They need him. They'll need him this week. In my opinion, they'll be down relatively early. They're going to have to throw the ball. They're not going to get much of a running game going against the 49ers. So for me, I'm going to go ahead and take Addison there. But look, Rashee Rice is a guy to keep watching. You know, you got him on your team. You know, he's the guy that's looked the best there. It hasn't really turned into fantasy gold yet, but it might at some point in the season if they finally decide to start using him properly. So this next question is from a guy, Justin Steffens. I can't pronounce your name. Anyway, to keep your draft night out team undefeated, Geno Smith versus Arizona or golf at Baltimore? George?
Ooh, Geno versus Arizona, who is one of the worst pass defenses in the NFL, or Goff against Baltimore, who is one of the best. Man, this is going to be a really tough decision for me. I'm going to go with Geno, and I'll tell you why. He's had at least 296 passing yards in 3 of the last 4 games. Cardinals allowed the 4th most passing yards per game at 266 yards per game. That right there is alone is enough for me to start Geno Smith over Jared Goff this week. Who I like Jared Goff. He's been solid all season long, but I just like this matchup with Geno Smith a heck of a lot better.
Yeah, Rich, I see you nodding.
Yeah, look, Geno's going up against, I want to say Arizona's pass defense is ranked around like 27th, 28th, somewhere around there. Last number I was checking and everything. Look, as much as I like golf always plays great away and everything against but it's against Baltimore and stuff like that. I can see this. I can still see golf having a good game, but I think Geno has a better game. Look, there's questions in the air right now about Metcalf playing. I don't know if he's officially been ruled out yet, but JSN if steps in that role is look to be a good option to have this week and everything. And against Arizona, look, I want to go Geno because he's playing against Arizona. I know that their defense hasn't been bad and stuff like that, but man, their pass defense has not been good at all.
So I'm gonna just get. I think I'm gonna make it unanimous here. We're gonna say Geno, and we can move on. Justin Steffens, I hope we answered that question for you. Over under on a fake punt from Uncle Steve. That's
I actually like that. I actually like that a lot.
Yeah. So George, I see in the chat here you've got a text question next. I hope it's somebody watching.
Yep. I got one for you. And trust me, because he's been texting me he said anticipation with the gift emoji of the person eating pop. I know Armin's watching. I don't know why he just doesn't ask, but anyway, he had a trade offer this week. Justin Jefferson and Kyron Williams, who he knows are both out for multiple weeks, for Pittman and Addison. He says, should he do the trade? If it works out, his lineup will be Josh Allen, DeAndre Swift, Kyron Williams, Justin Jefferson, Keenan Allen, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Travis Kelce, and Tyler Lockett at his flex.
Yes, do the trade.
I need to know what his record is and how many teams make the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point, but yes, do the trade.
My initial thought is yes, but
I mean, if he's even thinking about it, and listening to the rest of the team, it sounds like he could weather the storm of a couple of weeks. The only thing I worry about really is Justin Jefferson ever going to play again this year? Because that team's a dumpster. The team's a dumpster fire. It's a contract year. You don't want to hurt him. You don't want the guy to get hurt even further. So, like, that's my only. But like, I don't know. I do that trade easy.
He said his record is 4-2 right now.
Yeah, I'd probably do it. You're going to be looking at 500 if you lose without Justin Jefferson. Then if he does come back, that's a championship contending move. So, yeah, I'd probably do it. I'd take the risk.
I told him I'd do it as well. And I got one more here. Zay Flowers or Javonte Williams in a standard league.
Say that one more time, George.
Javonte Williams or Zay Flowers in a standard league.
Oh,
is it a dynasty?
No, redraft standard.
No, he's not trading. He's which one to start.
Which one do I start?
Oh man. So Javonte Williams, I was going to try to defer any Broncos running back questions until I heard more information from you guys personally, because I don't really know what that situation is currently looking like in Denver. Because like I personally, I have Jaleel McLaughlin and Javonte myself in a couple leagues, and I still cannot figure out who's actually in or who's actually playing. It sounds almost like it might be a split there. If that's the case, I might go Zay Jones.
Zay Flowers.
So I believe it's
Flowers.
I believe it's Zay Jones. So I believe it'll be a split, if I'm not mistaken. I think,
that's what I was kind of leaning towards there, but it's already an ugly backfield, and if they're going to split,
I'm going Zay Flowers just for the fact the way this Denver offense has been running. I mean, look, Russell Wilson is pulling the ball down and running like he's a rookie and stuff like that instead of passing the ball and everything. So he, I mean, he's actually good for fantasy football this year and everything because of the fact that he's running and stuff like that. But the fact that he's taken away those runs away from the running backs there and stuff like that. And I was really high on Javonte Williams at the beginning of the season and stuff like that. It just has not gone his way and everything, especially with it's McLaughlin, correct?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
The way he's been playing and everything. So in this case right here, look, Williams is going to get his role is going to increase and everything, but it could be up and down any week and stuff. We don't know. We kind of know where Zay Flowers is right now in this offense and everything. So, and this is a standard league and stuff like that. So, yeah. Look, I'm going Zay Flowers.
And overall, the Packers are pretty solid against the run too, and that's who the Broncos play this week.
Yeah. I'm going the same way. Flowers for me. Just more opportunity for touchdowns. All right. Hey, I also want to mention if this is your first time, you will be hearing probably a bunch of buzzing or, in Justin's case, some dinging going on in the background. We tend not to mute our phones on Sunday mornings because we're monitoring for updates for players and that kind of thing. So if you hear some buzzing or dings, it's likely an update on our phones. We're all like looking at Twitter so we can give you the most up-to-date information we can possibly get.
I shut mine off, and for some reason that last one still came through. Jason, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Ding. Justin. Oh, it's this guy again. Justin Steffens. Jordan Mason at Minnesota. Zach Evans versus Pittsburgh. Hunt at Indianapolis, a game that Justin won't be watching. Logan Thomas at the Giants. Tyson Bagant versus Las Vegas. Need 2 flex and a super flex. I think we're all going to say Hunt, right? Can we just agree? Can we across the board agree to Hunt here?
Yeah, I don't got no problem with that.
Yeah, it really depends on what we find out on Monday night on the Jordan Mason. That's kind of a hard one to plug him in due to the fact in case CMC does play. And then we also got Elijah Mitchell there too. So as much as I would love to say that, I'm going to rule him out and everything. And I'm going to go Hunt, Logan Thomas, and look, I'm going to go Tyson Bagent. He is going to be a QB playing and everything. Raiders are going to have a good game. His defense is going to be against him and stuff, but look, he's going to have the opportunity and stuff. And I just don't know what to expect right now with Evans, knowing the fact the way the Rams have been bringing in all these running backs.
And I agree. I'm on board with you. The problem is Jordan Mason could be an absolute smash play, but you won't know till Monday night.
Yeah.
If CMC's playing, I don't really want Jordan Mason on in my starting roster, and you don't know till Monday night. So for that reason, unless you have a pivot option there, you can get another piece from that game cheap. Maybe Osborne. Maybe Osborne's on the Justin. Maybe Osborne's on the waiver wire, and you can go grab a piece. No,
I thought about that as well.
Like if you had a pivot option in that game, that's who I would want Jordan Mason if CMC wasn't playing. If there's no pivot option for that game, then I don't want to do any. I don't want any part of him.
Yeah, the only way you trust Jordan Mason
there is Powell.
No,
Brandon Powell.
How about Jawan Jennings?
Because Debo's going to be out.
Yeah, if Debo's out, Jawan Jennings is a sneaky play. I'm not going to lie. But Jordan Mason, the only way you trust playing him at all is if CMC doesn't play. So you don't want to take that risk.
I would have to drop one of the people on this list to get Juwan Jennings.
Yeah, so I think you just roll with the other guys.
I wouldn't mind dropping Zach Evans, to be honest, but that's just me. That Rams backfield, I honestly believe that Rashard Henderson is going to get the most run out of any of those running backs. Yes, I know they just brought him back. I know they just promoted him off the practice squad, whatnot, but he's got history in that system. Darrell Henderson, that is, excuse me. And the last time we seen Darrell Henderson play as the starting running back for that team, with Cam Akers injured, he actually looked pretty dang decent, if memory serves me correct. So I don't think Zach Evans is going to be the guy there. I think ultimately it's going to be Darrell Henderson. They're going to ride the hot hand with the approach. So you can't really trust Zach Evans. I like Hunt at Indiana. I love Logan Thomas against the Giants. And Tyson Baggett versus the Raiders. Listen, I understand it's a quarterback going against the Raiders. I'm not trusting T-Bag anywhere. I don't care. I don't want to play T-Bag at all.
I love that. Just drop that drop like that. I love that you just came out like that.
You don't trust getting T-Bag. Got it.
Don't
all right.
Trust getting T-Bag.
Okay. So from George, never trust the T-Bag.
Listen, if you have an option to be or not to be, you don't want to be T-Bagged.
All right. Peter Sandoval says, "Hey, y'all, sorry I'm late. That's okay. The point is you made it. Thank you." Black Body Absorber, need 2 flex PPR, Myers, Moore, Palmer, Johnson. Thank you as always, fellas. All right, so Myers is my must start.
Is that Rondell Moore, I'm guessing?
I'm thinking, is it DJ Moore?
If it's DJ Moore, then that's hands down the definitely the one I'm choosing. Sure.
Even with T-Bag?
Yes.
You think Moore's going to get T-Bag?
Don't let him T-Bag your team this week, Justin.
I'm telling you, DJ Moore, I've said it 1,000 times, is a 1,000-yard receiver, no matter who his quarterback is in his entire career. So he's quarterback proof. He's one of those few
it is DJ
receivers.
Moore.
You can start. Okay. All right. So it's DJ Moore is a deadlock for me. And then, man, I'd have to look at the matchups.
Yeah, look, with it known as DJ Moore, look, I'm going Myers and DJ Moore. Josh Palmer, look, he's proved me wrong the last 2 weeks. He's been a decent play. It is in a game against the Chiefs, so it should be a shootout, we would like to believe. I'm not trusting Deontay Johnson if I could bench him with these other options you have. So I'm going to wait a week on that one, kind of see how he comes back into his role. The more I sit there and think about it, I think I'm going Myers and Palmer this week with these two in the flex.
No, so I think I am going to get debagged here. Myers and Moore for me because, look, Palmer has the opportunity to get you a handful of points, but it's, I don't know. I'll take the upside of Moore over the 8 to 10 points you're probably going to get with Palmer and hopefully swing for the fences there. So that's where I'm leaning. Look, I think Deontay Johnson is going to be good going forward, but I don't think this is the week to play him, not the first week back from injury, until you see if Kenny Pickett actually gets him the ball. So, George, I know you don't want to be teabagged, but where are you leaning here with these options?
So I do like Josh Palmer a lot. The matchup, believe it or not, against the Chiefs is actually a difficult one. Palmer's averaged 6 catches and 72 yards in games that Mike Williams has missed since last season. So there's a pretty good sample size there. He led the team in routes last week, but this is a tough matchup. Chiefs haven't allowed 65 yards or more to any opposing wide receiver on the year. So even though you think it's going to be a high-scoring, high-shootout matchup, like the Chiefs' defense just is actually pretty good against opposing wide receivers. I'm going to go Kobe Myers. I think that is the must start. of the group. He's just been absolutely on fire the last few weeks. And I'm going to go with DJ Moore as well, but I really, really don't feel confident in starting him.
Now, look, if you did want to pivot to Palmer, last year he did light up the Chiefs. He had 3 touchdowns in 2 games. So, like, Palmer does play well against the Chiefs if you're looking for a reason to start him. But for me, I still don't want to. Go ahead, Justin.
Yeah, so my second is Palmer, just because I feel like that's going to be there's going to be a lot of throwing in that game from both sides of the ball. So there's going to be a lot of opportunity for Palmer. I think that Myers, I'd go Myers if he had Jimmy Garoppolo in there. I'm not sure, with Hoyer. Whoa, what we got? Go ahead, George.
Oh, no. I was just saying when you're done, I want to go next.
Oh, okay. So I'm not sure. Like I said, DJ Moore is quarterback proof. Jacoby Myers is not, because he's had okay quarterbacks or not so okay quarterbacks, and he's never really played well before this year. For some reason, Jimmy has brought out the best in him. And then Johnson, I want it to be Johnson. I hope it's Johnson eventually for you, Black Body Absorber. But unfortunately, until we see it, he's still injured in my mind. So I'm going Moore and Palmer.
So what we found out today is never be teabagged, and Justin wants it to be Johnson. All right.
Yes.
And clearly I'm okay with being teabagged.
So I will say Jacoby Myers actually played pretty good in New England. When he was up in New England, he actually looked half decent. For PPR, he was a very good flex wide receiver PPR. He didn't score a whole lot of touchdowns, but he had a lot of catches and yards. The last 2 weeks, Jacoby Myers got 12 catches, 136 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And he's only one of 9 wide receivers in the entire NFL with 4 or more touchdowns on the season. And only him and Keenan Allen have played 5 games, where every other wide receiver in the NFL has played 6 that has 4 or more touchdowns on the season. So that's a fun little nugget. As far as DJ Moore goes, the Raiders allowed the 5th fewest receptions to opposing wide receivers. No wide receiver has topped 100 yards against the Raiders. And that's mostly because you can run all over the Raiders. So why would you bother passing against them? So
I like how Rich got all proud, and then you dropped that hammer on it. He's like, you're like nobody throws it on the Raiders. He's like, yeah, Raiders, and you're like, that's because they suck at everything else. Oh.
That's not what I was trying to do, but I'm kind of glad it worked out that way. But no, so like again, DJ Moore, backup quarterback who we've never seen play an NFL game. I'm going to start DJ Moore, but my expectations on him are drastically lower. Like, I'm not expecting, a big game from him. So if you need a big game, I don't think DJ Moore is going to be your guy.
All right. So Krana Shaw says, I need help. Debo is out, and my options are, prepare to say, gross. Algier, Musgrave, Dotson, DJ Dallas, Ray, Mitchell, Freeman, and Rondell.
Now, he did post down below, this is a flex PPR. Just kind of throw that in there. He forgot to include that.
I mean, honestly, if it's Elijah Mitchell, I'm playing Elijah Mitchell. That's where I'm going, because even if CMC plays, he's not going to be 100%. They're going to have a second guy on the field.
Yeah, but Elijah Mitchell's also banged up, so it's probably going to be Mason.
Look, it's up in the air, but it's the reason why I don't think I play Mason. They brought Elijah Mitchell back to play this game. He's going to play. I think he's going to get the bulk of the carries if CMC doesn't. And I think he's going to be on the field.
I'm wondering if anybody's actually watched Mason play. That dude actually looks pretty phenomenal.
I think anybody you put back there would look phenomenal.
That's fair. I
think short of George and Justin, anybody.
I think I can get it back to the line of scrimmage once.
George thinks he'd fall forward for a yard. So,
well, he's.
Listen, I think if you give me 5 carries, I can get 5 total yards.
if you give me 5 carries, I'm quitting after 1.
Are you going to be under center?
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to do the tush push.
Because if you're going to be in the center, then yes, I will agree with you on that.
Ain't nobody
It
pushing
depends
that
on-
push. I'm going to go with Dallas.
honestly, it depends on what offensive line I'm behind as well. Like that apps. Like if I'm behind the Giants' offensive line, listen, I'm not getting any yards. But if I'm behind like the Eagles' offensive line, yeah, I could probably get 5 yards.
All right, Rich, go now. Oh, sorry, Justin. I think
I was going to say I'm going to
Dallas.
go with Dallas Goedert here because it is that Rich did say it's PPR, so I see Dallas on there, so I'm assuming
No,
they
that's
mean
probably Dallas.
Is it
It's
DJ
probably
Dallas?
DJ Dallas.
You got to remember, you got to read the parentheses. Be prepared to say,
Yeah. Well,
I'm
then,
assuming it's DJ Dallas.
Oh, all right. Well, then I'm going to go Musgrave. Musgrave's been slowly picking it up. He's got. I hear he's playing a JV team this week, the Raiders defense. So Musgrave. I'm going to go Musgrave. If it's PPR here, I don't want any of these running backs because we just don't know what we're going to get out of them. Typically, I always go running back for a tiebreaker, but only in a situation where I know for sure that they're going to get the workhorse load or at least know what I'm going to get PPR wise. And I don't know what I'm getting from any of these running backs. So Musgrave's slowly been picking up. I think he's probably got the safest floor.
Rich?
yeah, man. Look, because it's PPR, I'm staying away from Algier and stuff like that. I do like Dotson, but you know what? I do like Dotson this week. I look for him to get some opportunity this week. So I'm going to probably be the one out of this from everybody else. I'm going to say Dotson. Coach, who you got?
I don't even know what the question is. I need help. Debo is out of, and my options are Algier, Musgrave, Dotson, DJ Dallas. Oh man, I kind of like Rondell Moore in the way I might be the only one kind of standing on that. But Rondell Moore has looked good in Arizona. I think they're going to get on the ball a little bit more.
Anybody agree with Coach there?
No. No, it's
Who did you pick? Who'd you pick?
I'm going with Jahan Dotson. He leads all the Commanders in snaps. Granted, he hasn't been productive, but this breakout week against the Giants cornerbacks, who according to PFF rank 93rd, 113th, and 123rd. So last time I checked, 32 teams in the NFL, your best ranked corner on the PFF is 93rd. Most teams cornerback 3. Yeah, I'm gonna give Dotson the opportunity here, and what I expect to be a very good game against the Giants. Sam Howell is top 10 in completion percentage, and touchdown passes. Like, let's fire up Dotson off that list.
I think that we have a good rival bet here between Dotson and Rondell Moore, between Coach and
Heck yeah.
George. By the way, Coach, I did send that rival bet from Tuesday night's show.
I got it. I don't think I'm allowed to. But I like the rival, like we're rival betting because I know Moore is going to score more than Dotson.
Okay, so hold on. I gotta do this one. Give me a second.
Oh, that's it. You insulted my honor. I demand satisfaction.
I challenge you to a duel.
I shan't mince words with you for long. I am challenging you, sir, to a duel.
Sir, your challenge is accepted.
I accept. Now I accept your challenge.
Oh, yeah.
All right, guys. So we do this every week now. It looks like Coach can't actually do this in Rival, so I'll step up and go ahead and take it for Coach. We do a Rival challenge every week. We do a $5 bet on Rival, which of course Justin mentioned earlier. JoinRival.com/TitleTribe, where they will match your first donation or your first deposit up to $200, and you can get a bonus of $25 if you either use the code TitleTribe or you use the link that Justin posts, which is joinrival.com/TitleTribe. So if you do that, they'll give you an extra $25. We will be betting $5 on Rival. I'll go ahead and take it for Coach since he can't do it where he lives. I'm going to bet $5 on Rondell Moore. And then Justin, who are you taking again?
I went with Musgrave just because of the PPR factor. I think it's the safest floor.
Or was it with George for Dotson?
I went with George because of Rondell Moore.
Yeah. Okay, so Moore and Dotson. It'll be George and I. And what George and I do, whoever wins, the $5 is going to go to a charity of the winner's choice. My choice is going to be BFT Charities. Actually, you know what? Since I'm making the bet for Coach, I'll let Coach decide where it goes. But Coach, you got your finger up. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I'm gonna cut out. I just wanted to hop in and make an announcement. First, I'm undefeated in these rival bets. So we know what happened last time I hopped on the show and made a proclamation. So good luck, George. But Justin, do you? I sent you something on in our chat. I want to see if you could pull that up real quick because I wanted to make a big announcement for something we've been working on for the Title Tribe. The green one, what's the green one with the telephone symbol? Group me or
I don't know. I don't have that on my computer. I only do that.
Okay. Does anyone have access in here to Gilded on their computer? Because we have an image. All right, so the image is in there. The latest image. Can you pull that up and put it on the screen? Because this is something we've been working on. We're very grateful for basically, everything the fantasy community has done for us the past few years since we started this thing. But the interaction, the support we've received from the fantasy football community and the Title Tribe has been tremendous. And the community is kind of, that's all we're about. That's why we do shows like this. You know what I mean? Because we want to interact with the community, grow the community. I think we really have something strong going at the Title Tribe in our Gilded chat. So if you see the image, right, we're giving away a Yeti cooler. This thing is like $325. I'm going to go broke giving things out to the Title Tribe. But since Thanksgiving in November, it's the season of giving. So we are going to give away a Yeti cooler. In order to enter, you have to join the Gilded chat. That's one of the ways to enter. So you have to actually do all of these things. To join the Gilded chat, you can reach out to us on Twitter. You can see our Twitter handles, or you can email us, toiletstotitles@gmail.com. You need to be subscribed to the Toilets to Titles YouTube channel. And then Justin and I are going to come up with the 3-word phrase. We're going to release one word every episode, November 7th, November 14th, and November 21st. You are going to email us that 3-word phrase, toiletstotitles@gmail.com, and you're going to comment on the 3 of those episodes. So that's those 4 things. You do those 4 things, you are entered. Now, if you're a Patreon, which you could be a Patreon for as low as $1.50 a month, that's less than a cup of coffee a day, patreon.com/toiletstotitles. It gets you tons of exclusive content, but you are also going to get 1 entry per every tier. So now you have to do these 4 things, even if you're a Patreon. But once you do those 4 things, say you're tier 4, you got 4 entries. Say you're tier 5, you got 5 entries. So you're getting some bang for your buck. So thank you to the Title Tribe. Thank you to the fantasy football community. And this is just a way we want to give back. We're going to announce the winner on the November 27th episode of Toilets and Titles.
Well, very, very cool. I appreciate you announcing that here on the show on Sunday morning. I see you're in the car. You're out coaching this morning, aren't you, right?
Well, so the first game I'm not coaching. I'm going to be coaching later. My son got called up to play with the A team this morning. So we got some bonus soccer this morning.
Nice. Very nice.
Yeah, so I'm going to cut out, but I appreciate you guys. Keep crushing it, all right?
Hey, tell me to go crush it, too.
Thanks for joining us this morning, Coach.
You got it, guys. Take care.
All right. Once Dad leaves.
And Emmett also won a giveaway that Rich and I did. I gave away a Toilets to Titles hat, and Emmett actually won that on Saturday. So
that was
I'll tell you what, cool. These kids between Emmett and your nephew there, Justin, just constantly winning all these prizes. Gavin, yes. Yeah. You know what? I'm going to be the first to say this is going to be the first of the show. It'll probably be the only one. I've been saving this one for a while. Fuck those kids. That's all I got.
But you're going to get us kicked off YouTube.
No, we get two. That was the
one. Talking about my nephew like that, you're going to get kicked off of T to T.
So anyway,
All right, so somebody says, George, you got something on your face.
Yeah, it's a glorious beard, Justin. It's not as glorious as Justin's. Like Justin's over there rocking the caveman. It's not even really as nice as Rich's. I'll be honest, but it's better than Jason's goatee.
Well, Rich keeps his clean. He's a professional at work. Like he's an executive of some kind. So like he's got to look good all the time. So
I heard a rumor. Rich actually has the barber come to his work and edges him up and trims him up at work. Like that's how much of a baller Rich is.
That's not true. You don't want hair.
The reason why I'm a baller is because I've been cutting my own hair since I was 12 years old. So.
Yeah, we can tell.
Listen. He don't have nobody come to work. You don't want hair in them Fritos.
Oh, that's fair.
Let's see.
He's not on the production line. He's in the executive suite.
Justin Steffens again. Do I pull Darnell Washington at the Rams off of the taxi? He can't go back. To start over Will Mallory versus Cleveland, I would have to drop Brandon Powell or Devin Tompkins to make the move, or just keep Mallory.
Now, the reason this is actually a question here is because this is a league where you have to start 2 tight ends, and with the injuries and the bye weeks, like I'm desperate here, and we're projected to be super close. Like this actually might matter. So Darnell Washington is the backup for Freiermuth, who's out. So and actually on IR again. So like I said, if I pull up Darnell, then I'd have to drop Brandon Powell or Devin Tompkins, and this is a dynasty league as well. So that's why that I threw in that Brandon Powell and Devin Tompkins decision as well. Or do I just roll with Mallory and hope that he actually does something?
I'm pulling Darnell Washington.
Yeah, I'm doing that, and I'm dropping Devin Tompkins.
I'm not trusting Darnell Washington. I'm sorry, I can't do it.
Oh, but over Mallory, like what's the other option?
Like,
so for me, I think the 1 week decision is definitely Darnell Washington over Mallory, but I don't know if it's worth the 1 week to drop Brandon Powell or Devin Tompkins long term.
That's what I'm looking into. I don't think it is, and I'm not even really going to trust Darnell Washington this week. So,
okay.
I don't know, man.
Rich is just looking like he really doesn't care about this. Let's get into the
here's the thing. Here's the thing. I mean, this is one of those questions, and if you would have asked this question last week, I probably would have rewarded you with one of the giveaways we were given because of how bad of a question this is. With that being said and everything, look, Darnell Washington is a blocking tight end. He's going to have his opportunities, but here's the one thing about him. He's going to be on the field a majority of the time. So he might have more opportunity. It might be that one play that you get from him that you ain't going to get from Will Mallory and stuff like that. So that would be the only caveat that I'm looking at on having him. But like you said, if you pull him off, you're stuck with them on and you're dropping somebody. I don't know how deep of a bench or, man, this is some bad options you have there if you want me to be honest with you, Justin. But I think I'd rather look. It's time to pull Darnell Washington off. So like I said, he's going to have the opportunity because he's going to be on the field blocking the majority of the time, and he can sneak in for some goal line touchdowns for that.
Yeah, so you have to start 2 tight ends. So a lot of people have a bunch of tight ends, and this was an orphan for me. I do have Kittle through a trade I made earlier this season, but I've got Jake Ferguson on bye, and I can't remember who the other guy is. Somebody else was also on bye, but. Yeah, it's ugly.
So let me put it this way. Are you going to be using Powell or Tompkins at all for the rest of the season after this week?
Probably not this season, but I'm pretty high on both of them for dynasty purposes moving forward. Like, I really think they both have a lot of talent. That's why I'm kicking myself here.
So here's why you don't do it. On the season, Pat Freiermuth, who was the starting tight end, has only in 4 games only had 13 targets, 8 receptions, and 53 yards. Yes, he had 2 touchdowns, but like even Pat Freiermuth as the starting tight end was not being targeted. And now all of a sudden you think they're going to start targeting Darnell Washington because Pat Freiermuth is on IR? That's just not going to happen.
Okay.
Deontay Hopkins not Deontay Hopkins. Deontay Johnson's also coming back, so he's going to eat up a lot of targets as well. There's just not Kenny Pickett not good enough to have George Pickens, Darnell Washington, Deontay Johnson, all these guys be relevant. It's not, the volume's not there, so
That's
it's
fair.
It's not worth pulling him off of the taxi, where you have to drop one of these other guys you're higher on.
And after that analysis, I think I'm realizing that the only reason that I'm even considering this is because Darnell Washington was Joe Clark's number 1 draft pick coming out of last season. He thought he should have been the 101 above all of the quarterbacks, above, CJ Stroud, Anthony Richardson, above all of them. He thought that Darnell Washington was supposed to be the 101. So we can move on. This is an ugly question. I'll just stick with I'll stick with Mallory and move ahead.
All right, one question we missed, so I'm going to go back to it real quick from Dustin. What's up? I'm pretty sure No Way I'm Leading. Please recommend who you would start between JSN and Flowers. I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you. Flowers for me. Until I start seeing something from JSN.
I think I'm going to go JSN, and I'll tell you why. Their matchup this week. Who do they play this week? I can't.
The Cardinals.
Their number 1 slot DB is out. Their backup slot DB is out. They have another secondary member who is out. Like that secondary is completely shot. So I feel pretty strongly that JSN, if he's going to have a breakout game, it's going to be this game, and I don't want him on my bench for this game for that reason, especially if my other option is Flowers, who I do like. I do really like Flowers, but I think I'm feeling really strong about JSN this week.
So,
Rich,
the thing with JSN, it highly depends on if DK Metcalf plays. He's actually a true game time decision. If DK Metcalf doesn't play, I do like JSN. But as of right now, until I get word that DK Metcalf is not playing, I'm going to go with Zay Flowers. He should be an every week starter. He runs all over the field. He scored last week. Like, Zay Flowers has been fantastic. With the Lions, you expect it to be semi-high scoring matchup. The Lions can put up points, even though the Ravens defense is very good. I would go with Zay Flowers here.
Yeah, look, I get 100% why you're going that route, George. But here's the reason why you even convinced me even more to go JSN. If he goes, look, he's been brought up in the news all week as if he's going to play. If he's in the game, he's going to be a decoy, and that's just going to give the opportunity for JSN to excel. Look, if there's any time for him to shine, it's this week and everything. Look, Flowers has been great, and 9 times out of 10. If it wasn't this week, I'd be going Flowers. But I just like the option of JSN having a breakout game this week and everything, and kind of implementing that rule for him to be utilized even more and everything. He's a great talent, and I feel like this is the week that he's going to have his opportunity.
So
it's 2-2. Go ahead, George.
Well, I'll give you the case for JSN. Like, I gave you the case for Zay Flowers. I can also give you the case for JSN. If DK Metcalf really hasn't practiced all week, and Tyler Lockett is nursing a hamstring injury, DK is trending the wrong direction, and Tyler Lockett is trending the right direction. Looks like Lockett's going to play. Like I said, DK Metcalf, game time decision. Routes ran last week. Metcalf had 39, Lockett had 39, and JSN had 39. JSN had 5 targets last week, and the Cardinals, Rich mentioned the matchup for the Cardinals. They allowed the 4th most receptions and 2nd most yards to opposing wide receivers. So that's the case for JSN. I would go JSN if Zay Flower or if DK Metcalf does not play, but I would go Zay Flowers if DK Metcalf does play.
Well, so I think the problem with that is Flowers is a 1:00 game and Metcalf and JSN's a 4:00 game. So you can't even wait till the game starts to make that decision. So, I'm going to take the guaranteed points over I'm hoping for points. And like I said, we just haven't seen it. We just haven't seen it from JSN. DK Metcalf's been hurt the last couple weeks. He's been questionable and has played. Now, having him on the field means JSN maybe gets less, but it's not like these guys have been, it's not like DK and Lockett have been healthy all season or the last couple of games, and JSN's not getting it, I think we really want him to be a thing, and right now he hasn't been. So that's my opinion. Right now, we've got it 2-2. It's good options for sure. So you'll have to make your own decision based off the arguments you heard here. Let's see. At this point, why don't you just text us, Justin?
Because I want I want the comments.
No, I know. Madison versus San Francisco, OBJ versus Detroit, Slayton versus Washington, Ertz versus Seattle. Need one wide receiver, one flex. Slayton is my must start here. And then there's some gross.
A whole lot of it. So I'm going Madison versus San Francisco only because it's guaranteed touches for the running back. Normally I would say I would like Zach Ertz, but let me pull.
He got outsnapped and outrouted by McBride last week. That's the problem.
Absolutely, he did. Also, Seattle hasn't allowed a tight end score since week 15 of last season. Ertz only had 4 targets in each game in the last 2 weeks. No tight end has topped 50 yards in their last 6 games against Seattle. So it's not only is he getting outsnapped, but he's got a really tough matchup. So I'm going to go with Madison. Give me the guaranteed touches. If Minnesota is going to win, they're going to have to try to control the clock, keep San Francisco's offense off the field, and I think they'll do that with the run game. So I'm going to go with Madison here and Slayton.
Yeah, I'm going to go the same route. I'm going Madison and Slayton, and just to kind of give everybody that's watching and some insight, Justin, close your ears real quick for me. Watson and Hunt is active for today's game.
Yep.
All right, Cody Davis, hopefully related to Corey Davis. It says pick one to bench. We need to pick one to bench. James Cook, Jordan Addison, Christian Watson. Pick one to bench.
It's a good thing we don't have Joe on the show with this name popping up. We want to hear the end of it. So pick one to bench. Full PPR, James Cook, Jordan Addison, Christian Watson. Look, I'm going with James Cook. It's one of the games that I'm excited to watch this week and everything. I want the running back in this option over the other two right now.
Wait, you're
choosing one to bench.
You got to bench one. You got to bench one.
Oh, that's Christian Watson.
Ooh.
I'll go Jason.
I'm benching Jordan Addison.
Yeah, I am as well. James Cook, he leads in touches. Giants, he averaged 5 yards per carry. New England allows the 4th most rushing attempts and the 4th most rushing TDs to opposing running backs. So I really want to play James Cook. And as far as Christian Watson goes, last time we saw Watson in week 5 at Las Vegas, he had, he showed off his playmaking ability, 3 catches for 91 yards on 7 targets. So he's getting targeted. One of those was a 77-yard reception. So he's got that big play ability. The Broncos have allowed every opposing receiver who has led his team in targets, except one this season, which was Garrett Wilson, week 5, go figure, to score a touchdown, gain at least 100 receiving yards. And those include Jacoby Myers, Terry McLaurin, Tyreek Hill, DJ Moore, Kadarius Toney. 6 receivers have scored at least 12.9 PPR points against Denver this year. Watson should be a number 2 wide receiver. So I'm starting Watson. The matchup is just phenomenal for him. So give me Cook, give me Watson, and I'll say Addison I talked to Addison earlier, and the tough matchup he's going to find himself in.
Yeah, I like Addison this week. I just think I like the matchup with Christian Watson better. He looked good last time they played. He had that really long pass that he got tracked down from behind and grabbed by the horse collar, but long pass was pretty close to scoring there. So I like Christian Watson. And
So-
then, James Cook, it's a ton of opportunity against a really banged up New England defense. Justin
I'm
hasn't
seeing a
gone
lot-
yet, so let's go.
Well, no, real quick, I'll let Justin go, but real quick, I'm seeing a lot of new names to the show. So for those people who are new, who are joining us, whether you're getting the link from Twitter, whether you searched it through the sleeper link that I put out, do me a favor. If you like the show, hit the thumbs up button, hit the subscribe button. That helps us with our YouTube algorithm. We're out here every Sunday. We're here for 2 hours. We do real deep dives in on all these teams. We have some really good information, and we have absolutely no problem answering your tough questions. And I know this week is the Bipocalypse week, one of the 2 this year. So I understand, teams are desperate, and we're here to help you. So if we help you out, do me a favor, just hit the thumbs up button, hit the share button, so you can share it to your friends and family and league mates, and hit the subscribe button. None of that costs you absolutely anything, and it absolutely helps us with our algorithm, and we greatly appreciate it.
Yeah, I hope that guy Justin Stefan does that. We've answered a ton of his questions. Do me a favor, George, while we give Justin a chance to answer this one, can you do you have Bobby Ham? Like, I haven't seen any Bobby Ham in here this morning. Let's make sure he's all right.
Maybe he's on bye this week.
He might be on bye.
He might
all
be
right,
on
Justin,
bye.
go ahead.
So I want those of you that are choosing Christian Watson over Jordan Addison, go ahead and send me a rival bet, a $5 rival bet, because Jordan Addison's definitely going to outscore Christian Watson this week. I actually really like Jordan Addison's matchup. And then on the other end, I still really like Christian Watson too. Don't get me wrong. I think you guys are absolutely correct on Watson. But I think maybe I might be overly confident on Addison, but I think he's going to tear it up on Monday night. And then Cook, being a running back, since all 3 of these are very similar, ties always go to the running backs. I'm going to go with James Cook on this one. So I guess I'm benching Watson, even though I don't want to.
All right. Well, I will send you that challenge after I get to our next question.
Roger that.
Yeah, look, I put up there real quick. I brought it down, but Robert is in the chat, so.
Okay. And you brought the question down, and I had this close, and I gotta find where we. Now I gotta find where we were.
So,
give me a minute.
I swear, am I the only one who gets the absolute worst rival bets from Neil?
Yes, because Neil never sends me anything.
Yeah, he doesn't send me any either.
He's taken. He wants a $10 bet where he gets Brian Hoyer, who I absolutely like this week, and I can get Teabag. Come on, Neil, what are you doing here? And another one, he's taking Brian Robinson, who I absolutely love, and he wants me to take Jerome Ford. Come on, Neil, step your game up, man. That's a horrible, horrible bet.
I don't know. Tell him to send them to me. I'll accept both.
Well, Neil or George, while you're on there, do me a favor and accept the challenge I sent you earlier.
I already accepted it, and I'm working on the other one, Jordan Addison and what was it? Jordan Addison versus
Christian Watson.
Yeah, send me that one too, because I'm on the Addison side.
All right, and I'm sending it to.
Hey, Neil did send them to me already.
This is a really good. This is really good for the air here. We're all playing on Rival.
Neil, I just want to say I'm a little jealous because you're sending these 3 guys offers and don't even send me any challenges.
Oh, I don't have any, and I'm okay with it. That Mormon knows I don't want his nasty bets. And it's a joke. If you're a Mormon, it's a joke. It's a long thing between us and Neil. He's not really Mormon, and I don't really have a problem with it. It's just a joke between longtime friends. But
Jason, am I sending you the Jordan Addison? Am I sending you Jordan
no,
Addison?
You and I are on the same. You and I are on the same side on that.
Okay. All right. So I sent it to both of you guys. So that's taken care of.
All right. Must
and by
win.
the way, this is the best part of Rival Fantasy right here. Is if you feel strong about somebody, you can challenge your friends. This is we're doing it all the time.
Must win already. Ayuk at Minnesota, Puka versus Pittsburgh, Lockett versus Arizona, DJ Moore versus Vegas, JT versus Cleveland. Need 2 wide receivers and a flex. George, I'm going to start with you on this one because there's lots here.
So I'm absolutely starting Ayuk, especially with Deebo Samuel expected to be out. So I'm starting Ayuk. That's going to be a must start. Puka versus Pittsburgh, for me, that's an absolute must start. So I'm starting those two. Now it comes down to Lockett, DJ Moore, or Jonathan Taylor. I don't know if you've paid attention, Justin Stephans, to how good the Cleveland run defense is, but overall that defense is absolutely nasty. So I'm going to sit JT, and I am going to sit DJ Moore because I don't want to get teabagged in a must-win already matchup. So that leaves me Tyler Lockett in my flex.
So
against
I
one of
want
the
to
worst pass defenses in the NFL.
I want to preface this question by stating that local news reporters in Indianapolis have stated that the Colts are very adamant that beginning this week, Jonathan Taylor's workload is going to greatly increase, even though Zach Moss has been extremely efficient, and that's partly why this question or this decision is so tough for me.
I'm going to be very adamant that the Colts coaching staff has no control over how good Cleveland's run defense is.
Yep.
So you're saying regardless of the workload, you guys are pretty confident that Cleveland's going to stifle JT enough to bench him?
I mean, he stifled himself even when he was on the field the last couple weeks. Like, it's not like he... So, yes, he's had less opportunities, and it's harder for a running back to get going if you're not getting opportunities. But it's not like he's played so well on the field that I think that's even a great decision by the Colts. Look, Moss has had a hot hand, so saying, like, okay, this week we paid this guy, I'm putting him on the field, doesn't scream competent coaching to me. So that's why I would – and I'm actually lined up with George on this one again with Ayuk, Puka, and Lockett. Lockett against Arizona seems like something you have to do. Whereas I like DJ Moore, but again with Teabag, maybe you can pump the brakes there. So top three there for me for sure. Rich, how you looking?
Yeah, I'm gonna be the odd man out. I'm going Ayuk, Puka, and I am playing JT. Based off what I'm hearing and everything, look, just because I get it. Brown's defense is good and everything, but this can be the week. They could get down there and he could have his 3 TDs. I know Justin Jenkins down at the very bottom saying JT is going to have 3 TDs today. And you know what? It's because of that comment right there, just that one by itself, that I'm going JT in my flex.
Yeah, so another part of my thinking is with them having their backup quarterback in there, talking about the Browns, that should help lend to better field position for the Colts as well, right? You would imagine.
I agree.
So I don't know. Still a tough decision. We can move on. I just wanted to hear your guys' input. I'll decide after the show before I
think you're going to see a ton of 8-man boxes, 9-man boxes, and say Gardner Minshew, beat me if you can.
This is one of the few that I actually thought would be a good question. So,
Cody Davis, Jordan Love, or Matthew Stafford? I've got these guys back to back in my rankings. I've got Jordan Love one spot ahead of Matthew Stafford, and it's purely because they're playing the Broncos, and the Broncos are last in every defensive category. They're also looking like they're going to have a fire sale. So, for me, it's Jordan Love, but it's narrow, and I could be persuaded another direction. I'm going to let Rich go next.
Yeah, look, I am leaning Matthew Stafford in this one. I like his receiving options better. They do got some questions in the running game and everything, which leans more to them passing more this week. In the long run, I was talking all this just to kind of bring up my rankings that me and Jason release every week. I have Stafford ranked 8th. I have Jordan Love at number 10. So I am leading Matthew Stafford.
Give me Jordan Love. I agree. I like Stafford's options a lot better, but I think the Steelers' defense is kind of highly underrated. I think they're much better than people give them credit for. So I'm going to stick with Jordan Love in this one just because of the matchup.
And George, you gonna make it a tie, or is it going to be 3-1?
No, it's going to be 3-1. I'm going Jordan Love. Come on, man. He's playing Denver. Denver allows the most fantasy points to quarterbacks. They allowed the second most passing yards. They allowed the most passing touchdowns. Listen, I get it. The last time we see Jordan Love, he had a very bad game, okay? He threw for, and it was against Rich's Raiders. And Rich, you're going to smile at this. He played Rich's Raiders. He only threw for 182 yards, no touchdowns, and 3 interceptions. He had a season low of 4.9 yards fantasy points, or 4.9 fantasy points against the vaunted 85 Raiders defense. That should definitely change going up against Denver, who I said has a lot of quarterbacks to average 25.5 fantasy points per game. Give me Jordan Love on the road with this matchup against the Broncos.
And Rich actually remembers the 85 Raiders.
I do.
Well, you know what's funny is I wanted to give you crap because just because the Bears were good defense in 1985 doesn't mean you can throw 1985 in front of every team and say that team was good.
But you can the Raiders.
But I had to go look it up. I had to go look it up, and they were 11-4 in the regular season. And then
yes, they were. They were a very good
game.
defense that year.
So that sucks. I wanted to give you crap, but then I had to go look it up. And it might have been the last time they were good, but they were actually good then. So. Oh man, having too much fun today. C-Law says Ford. I'm skipping yours, Justin. We'll get to it at the end.
Yeah.
C-Law says Ford, Ramondre, Brian Robinson this week. Full PPR 12-man. Ford, Ramondre, Brian Robinson. Justin, I'll start with you since you got all the questions.
All right, so we can only have one here, right?
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
I mean, my initial thought is Brian Robinson right out the gate. The other two just have a lot of question marks right now, and Ford has Hunt creeping up on him. The Colts' run defense is actually pretty solid this year. Ramondre has been underperforming, and Zeke's been getting more and more workload each week, and I feel like they're going to be kind of playing from behind this week. So I think I'm going to go with Brian Robinson here.
George, you agree?
Yeah, I'm going Brian Robinson. I could give you all the fancy stats on why it should be Brian Robinson. But just know he's playing the Giants. They're the 27th worst run defense against opposing running backs. It's going to be Brian Robinson. He was very close. I mean, to being a guy that it's a must start for me this week.
Yeah, I'm going Brian Robinson.
All right, and I'll make it 4 for 4. We're going to move on to Black Body Absorber. Pick one flex, Ramondre, Deontay, or JSN. Now, here's the thing about JSN. He's already playing Lockett at wide receiver 2. So, not that I mind 100% playing 2 Seattle wide receivers, especially if DK may not play, but what do you guys think? I'm going to actually start with George on this one. Ramondre Stevenson, Deontay Johnson, JSN.
So the way you beat the Bills is you run on them. So the Bills are not a very good run defense at all. Ramondre Stevenson's coming off the best game of the season last week with 18 PPR points. He had 5 catches on 6 targets, which, is what you want to see from Ramondre Stevenson because he's a very good pass catching back. Hopefully, that's a sign of things to come. I'm going to go with Ramondre. He averaged 13.5 PPR points in 2 games against the Bills in 2022. Buffalo has allowed a running back score to at least 13.8 PPR points in 3 games in a row. That was Devon Achane, Travis Etienne, and Saquon Barkley. So I think Ramondre is going to get you at least double-digit fantasy points this week. So I'm going to go with Ramondre.
All right. Justin, you agree?
Oh, man. After tooting the horn of JSN so much earlier today, this Ramondre is at least one of those running backs that's comparable or even better. So, like I said, if it's close, I usually always side with the running back. So I'm going to go with Ramondre here, but I'm torn on it. And again, I want it to be Deontay Johnson, but until we see it, it's not Deontay Johnson.
Yeah, look, beginning of the season, Bill's defense was starting out to be a solid defense for the season, but slowly but surely the injuries have plagued them and everything. And then not even today, their cornerback Cam Lewis is questionable, but out is defensive tackle Ed Oliver and everything, and he has been a good inside guy there for the Bills. So with him being out, that even bodes more well for Ramondre. So I'm going.
They're also missing Matt Milano, who is an All-Pro linebacker for the Bills as well.
Yeah. I'm gonna air, and it's because you have Lockett as wide receiver too. I'm gonna air with Mondre as well, and we'll all roll it that way. Brian Russick says I don't trust Cousins, and I don't remember talking about Kirk Cousins today, so maybe Brian's got a feud with his family going on. I don't trust Cousins either. I only got two of them. Fuck them motherfucker.
Oh, Jason, that's number 2. We're not allowed to say that. Gosh darn it!
All right. So
All right, well,
somebody needs to go into the YouTube settings after the show and change it to not for kids.
Well, that's only 2.
You can say F those cousins, but you can't say the whole word.
All right. And actually, I really like my cousins. I don't even know why I did that, except to make the feud joke. But anyway.
Yeah, he didn't. The reason why he got that up because of some of the Addison questions.
Addison talk, yeah.
Joe Clark. And I'm okay with that. Like, you can have a bad quarterback play and still get good wide receiver play out of him, because if he throws for 3 or 4 interceptions, those aren't points against Addison, and he's still throwing the ball a lot, which is still opportunity for Addison. So
we call that the Blake Bortles. We call that the Blake Bortles effect.
Exactly. So I agree with you, but I still like Addison.
Joe Clark, good morning all, and happy week 7. Happy week 7 to you, Joe. Not grumpy Joe on a Sunday morning. C Law says, gamble on Deontay at flex or go with Rashee Rice. Are we all going to say Rashee Rice?
Nope. This is one where I will take the gamble just because of what I said earlier. You never know which wide receiver it's going to be for Kansas City. And even if Rashee Rice does end up having a touchdown, it's going to be on 2 catches for 14 yards on a touchdown. So yeah, I'm going to go with Deontay.
Everybody agree with that? Or I'm going Rashee Rice.
I'm going Rashee Rice this week too, man. I'm holding off on Deontay. Look, he could come in and take off where he left off. Tons of targets and tons of catches and everything, but I want to see it first.
So for my notes that I shared in the private chat, for under Deontay Johnson, I have the prodigal son returns. And anybody who knows me knows I am a huge Deontay Johnson fan. I've been a fan of his for years. But this week, I'm not starting him. The Rams allow a total, on average, they allow 11 catches for 131 yards per game and 1 total touchdown to opposing wide receivers. Now, if I came to you guys and I said, hey, Kenny Pickett had a stat line of 11 of 27 for 131 yards and a touchdown against the Rams, would that surprise you? No, it would not. It absolutely would not. I don't think there's going to be enough volume to go against this Rams defense. I want to see how he looks out there. I get he's completely healthy, ready to go, but I want Rashee Rice in what I expect to be more of a high-scoring matchup. I just think that there's better odds of Rashee Rice scoring a touchdown and putting up points than Deontay Johnson against the Rams defense.
And I agree with that analysis, but in my mind, the smaller amount of opportunity is going to be divided by 2 in Pittsburgh, whereas the larger amount of opportunity in Kansas City is going to be divided by about 6 in Kansas City. So overall,
well, I think you're over. I think you're putting way too much value on Sky Moore and MVS and who do they do? Mecole Hardman,
Travis Kelce.
Travis Kelce is going to get his. We know that. I think really the 3 passing options there is Kadarius Toney, Rashee Rice, and Travis Kelce. I think those are your 3.
Another rival bet.
I was told there was no math. I'm not doing 1 out of 2, 3 out of 6.
Fantasy football is mostly math, guys.
We're not. I was told there was no math here. I have to go back to my contract. I'm pretty sure my contract stipulates no math. So
this coming from an astronaut that's recording from space right now.
We've got so it's 3-1 there with Rashi Rice to Deontay Johnson. I'm gonna take both of these next questions as one kind of statement here. Do we trust any Vikings between besides Addison, Osborne, Madison worth of flex? And then Dustin says, is London a must start at this point after seeing what he's done the last few weeks? Here's the thing. Yes and yes. But with a caveat. We've already mentioned we'd play Madison over some of the stuff that another guy had earlier. London's an absolute start. Unless you have Jamar Chase and Tyreek Hill and Cooper Kupp. And so, these questions, I don't mind answering them. I like them. But really, in context is the better question there, and we're happy to go through it like we have been. So, I would play Madison over a whole bunch of different guys this week. I think Osborne can be okay over a bunch of different guys this week, but it really depends on who else you're starting. And then Drake London has absolutely been killing it. And if you're asking the type of questions we've been getting today of would I start Drake London over guys like Addison? Would I start him over Deontay Johnson? Would I, the questions you're asking, Rasheed Rice? Yeah, all those guys for sure.
Yeah.
So it really depends on the context in which your team is built. So yes and yes.
Like to Jason's point, I have 4 shares of Osborne. I'm starting him in 2 and I'm benching him in 2 because of my options.
So absolutely. Here we go with Mario. Oh, actually, I want to say hi to Rob Thomas. I think this is the second week with him watching and saying hey. So, hey Rob, how's it going? Thank you for watching again. And then we got Mario. How's it going, fellas? Justin, this is your question. Cortland Sutton or Javonte Williams full PPR league?
Yeah, Ty goes to the running back.
Say it.
Ty goes to the running back. Give me Javonte Williams. Yeah, I mean, I can't say it's never Sutton anymore because he's actually been overperforming his abilities. I mean, it depends on the matchup for Sutton, but this for me this week, it's more of a tie. Even with the split in the backfield, I don't trust Sutton. I still can't trust him enough. I'm going to go with Javonte.
And so I'm going to take Cortland Sutton here. He's been getting the touchdowns. Javonte Williams looks like he looks like the worst, not the worst running back in that backfield because that's Samaje Perine, but the worst of the top 2 there. He looks like the second tier running back to McLaughlin, who has looked incredible when he's been on the field. So I know the draft capital doesn't skew that direction, but just from what your eyes can see when both players are playing,
yeah,
he looks like the worst of the 2 running backs. So.
And for what it's worth, we had guys on this network this offseason that were tooting the horn of Jaleel McLaughlin in the offseason. So before the season even started, when everybody was talking about P. Ryan versus Williams, we still had guys talking about McLaughlin. So guys, when the season ends this year, don't stop looking, don't stop viewing our episodes on T2T. Because we're nonstop talking about all these new guys coming in, these rookies coming in, and dynasty leagues and all that sort of stuff.
And I do want to say McLaughlin sounds like he should be on one of those political talk shows on a Sunday morning and not playing football, but it's just a name thing. All right, Rich.
Yeah, look, both of them, you got 2 Denver Broncos going up against Seattle. And when Seattle takes that big lead and everything, I look to Cortland Sutton to have a better game than Javonte Williams as they're coming back and everything. So I am going Cortland Sutton in this one.
That's good narrative.
All right. Rich, or sorry, George, I didn't get yours, did I?
No.
I think he's been frozen like that for the last 2 questions.
No, I was looking at something. I was looking something up. But no, I'm not doing Cortland Sutton, and here's why. Packers have allowed only 1 wide receiver on the year to top 75 receiving yards. The Packers allow the 3rd fewest receptions and the 2nd fewest yards per game to opposing wide receivers. So I don't really.
Seattle, George.
Okay. The Packers are playing the Broncos this week, aren't they?
No, the Broncos. Oh, hold on. Yeah, they are.
That's what I thought. I don't know where Seattle came from, but no, they're the Packers.
That's my
That's
bad.
Arizona.
I apologize. I scrolled down too far where I'm looking at something.
Completely confused the hell out of me.
I'm saying.
So yeah,
For everybody in the chat, I apologize for that.
So yeah. Anyway, I'm not playing Cortland Sutton. Give me Javonte Williams. One thing you can kind of do on the Packers is run the ball. So I'm going to go with Javonte Williams. I expect him and McLaughlin to share the workload. That's pretty much what they've been doing. Javonte Williams has been getting more touches than McLaughlin, and as he's starting to regain his form coming back from his injury, so I kind of expect that role to continue. To go with Javonte Williams here.
All right. Let's see. We went 2-2 there, Mario. So you're gonna have to listen to the two different arguments and make your decision. But hopefully we helped you a little bit. Listen to Justin.
I'll take the blame.
Dylan Fink says Kareem Hunt may not play full PPR. Would you go Henderson, Latavius Murray, or McKinnon?
Well, we did find out earlier that Kareem Hunt is in. Yep. So given those other options, I think I'm going to go ahead and stick with Hunt.
Well, okay, so let's pretend he has to, in case he decides he doesn't want Hunt at all. And let's pretend Hunt's not playing. Now, we're all going to say we'd pick Hunt because we think he's playing. They've said he's playing. But if you had to pick somebody not Hunt on this list.
I'm going Henderson due to the fact that Rams brought him back this week. I want to say that I love Evans to get a lot of opportunity, but the fact that they brought Henderson back and he knows his offense bodes well for him to get some opportunity and everything. So the only caveat to why maybe I pick McKinnon is because of the game that they're in. Chargers defense is horrible. So it'd be a 50-50 right there between those two for me. I'm leaving Latavius Murray is out and everything, but the more I talk myself in it, I'm going to be the person that knows the offense even more and is going to have the opportunity to score, and that's McKinnon.
Can anybody tell me why Darrell Henderson was sitting on the couch last week and Zach Evans is the guy that had his roster spot, if now all of a sudden Darrell Henderson is a better option than Zach Evans?
Because Zach Evans was drafted. He was drafted. He's a rookie. So he was drafted by the Rams.
Right.
And
but
he came in at a cheaper price, contract wise, than what it would have been to retain Darrell Henderson.
Henderson wouldn't have been out of his rookie contract yet. He hasn't been around that long.
No, he was drafted higher than Zach Evans. So his rookie contract actually cost more against cap.
Yeah, but if we're talking the difference of peanuts here. Like it's not that much different to be able to say that I'm gonna, you know what I mean? Like I just feel like there's a reason why Evans wasn't on the practice squad and Henderson was actually on the active 53-man roster if all of a sudden Henderson's the better option. I think what we're hearing out of Los Angeles is smoke and mirrors, and we're going to see Zach Evans play a decent amount this week. Personally, I just don't see how you can just pull the guy off the couch and then all of a sudden he's better than the guy that you drafted higher than, and you're going to let him play. Like it doesn't make any sense to me. So, but that being said, if Hunt isn't available, I guess I still, you know what, I'm going to go McKinnon just because it's PPR, and I don't like any of the running back options in Kansas City ever. But if they do score points, it's because they're catching the football. So I'll go with McKinnon on the PPR upside.
So I'm going to go Latavius. I'm going to go Bird because I think when the ball gets in close, like New England versus Buffalo, when it gets in the red zone, James Cook really doesn't get very many touches in the red zone. They were using Damian Harris to fill that role. As we all know, he's out with an injury. Luckily for him, and Justin and I talked about this on Friday on TGIF, he regained all mobility in his extremities, his fingers, his hands, his feet, whatnot. So that's good, but he's not playing. So Latavius Murray is going to pick that role up. And the matchup against New England is a great matchup. Again, I mentioned it with James Cook. New England has allowed the fourth most rushing attempts and the fourth most rushing TDs to running backs. So you're telling me they're giving up the fourth most rushing touchdowns, and Latavius Murray is the goal line back and the red zone back for the Buffalo Bills. I'm going to go with Latavius Murray. I think he's got the best odds to punch one in.
So does that mean we didn't really help him out at all?
No, because I haven't answered yet, and I'm going to say McKinnon. So that's we'll break the tie there. But I also want to mention quick thing. It doesn't matter to the question either way, but Henderson's contract was he got drafted in 2019. It was a 4-year deal, so it ended in 2022. So that might have been why he was not on the team. So it was just to answer Justin's question. Then. Yeah, you were, which is okay. J Money 201092. There's a lot of J Monies. Anyway, would you drop Craig Reynolds for Royce Freeman, Latavius Murray, Katoni Ingram, also Geno Smith or Sam Howell at QB2 in a 2 QB league? I'm going to take the second question first, and I am going to say Sam Howell, who has been playing very well this week. I'm going to take Sam Howell as my QB. Anybody argue with that? Look, I get Geno's playing the Cardinals. But
Sam Howell's been pretty consistent. I think,
and he's playing the Giants, guys.
Yeah, I think given both of the matchups, I'm going to agree with you on Sam Howell.
Yeah, George? I think Geno Smith is going trending back to his old self, and Sam Howell is on the upward. So I'm leaning Sam Howell too.
Yeah, I mentioned it. I mentioned Sam Howell earlier. Top 10 in completion percentage, and touchdown passes. Going up against that vaunted 2020 Giant defense. Give me the Sam Howell here for the quarterback. And as I said that, Jason's Googling 2020 Giants.
On the second part of the question here, I'm not opposed to dropping Craig Reynolds for Deontay Ingram for the next few weeks, especially. I think as long as Connor's out, we're going to see a lot of Cavante Ingram, and given the right opponent, you might be able to slide him in your starting lineup. I just don't see a spot where you're going to be able to slide in Craig Reynolds over him very much. But other than that, I don't know, whatever. Just hang on to Craig Reynolds and wait and see if Lions back goes down.
What's tough is Justin tried to say Keontae twice and messed it up both times.
What was I saying?
I think the first time you used a D and the second time you used an R. I'm not sure 100%. Now we'll have to go back and watch it later. But
Ingram.
There you go. I honestly agree with that. I'd take Keontae Ingram. It's not like he's good, but he's getting volume.
Yeah.
Over, I think, Craig Reynolds too. The Lions probably want to give the ball to Gibbs, although you never know.
It's the Lions.
They drafted Swift high and didn't use him, and they've drafted Gibbs high and haven't used him. So I don't know what they're doing. It may be a Craig Reynolds week. Who knows? But of those, I know Keontae is getting some run, so I'd probably do that for Keontae. Rich, you agree?
Here's my thing. Okay, so you're asking this question as if he's on free agency, correct? And the way I'm looking at it is, okay, you have Craig Reynolds already. Montgomery we already know is out. Gibbs has been out. What if he gets hurt and all of a sudden it's Craig Reynolds' backfield? Is it worth to drop Keontae to drop him right now to pick Keontae? Are you going to use him? That's the question. Are you going to use him, or are you just picking him up to put on the bench? If that was the case, I'd rather keep Craig Reynolds just in the case an injury happens to Gibbs and now all of a sudden he's not playing. So that's how I'm going to answer that question.
Yeah, but I feel like there already is an injury to Connor, and we don't know how long that's going to be.
That's true, but I'd rather have Craig Reynolds in the Lions offense than Keontae in the Arizona's offense.
I see where you're going with it. Yeah, I mean, either way, you're taking a chance. So you're going for the bigger upside.
Yeah,
I'm just looking down the road just in case.
I'm more of a safer floor guy.
because I don't know if he's starting. I don't know if he's starting Keontae Ingram or not, or he's just picking him up to put on the bench.
George, jumping in.
Yeah, listen, of all these guys, I'm taking Latavius Murray. I don't know when to see Damian Harris back. I know we're not going to be any help, but I want to go with Latavius Murray. Give me the red zone back for the and the goal line back for the Buffalo Bills.
And Jason's
Josh Allen is not in this question, George.
I understand that.
All right. Dustin Hetrich says Justin is hijacking his own show. That's okay.
Yeah.
Henderson or Jeff Wilson rest of season? Rest of season.
I think this one's easy. Jeff Wilson.
I agree. My name is Jeff.
I agree.
Yeah, I mean, flip a coin.
I just want more of that offense than I want Henderson. And, you know, both running back rooms are muddy. So give me the one and the better offense.
Yeah.
Let's see.
That likes him and not with the coach that cut him.
Okay. In
This
case
was the one I was telling you about earlier.
Yeah, and we answered it as PPR. So keep in mind we're gonna answer as PPR as if you don't put it, because that's what most leagues are now, or at least half PPR, but it doesn't change too much from half to full, except for a few players. So if you don't put it, just know that we're going to do PPR. C-Law, London, Flowers, or Cooper. Okay. If it's Cooper Cup, it's Cooper Cup, but I'm assuming it's Amari Cooper. So London, Flowers, or Cooper. I'm going to say London. This is one where I'm going to say you have to play London.
Man, it's close between London and Cooper. But because of the, you know what? They did say Deshaun Watson is active today.
Yep.
Oh, they did?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mentioned that earlier. So with that being the case, I think I'm going Cooper if Deshaun Watson is playing.
All right. Justin?
I don't know. I kind of agree with Rich here. If the human predator's playing, I think I'm gonna lean towards Cooper, but also, man, I don't know. I really like London right now. He's really starting to come around, and Flowers has been good all season. This is a really good question, but Flowers also has a good matchup. Give me Drake London against Tampa Bay. I think that'll be a good divisional matchup. And I think it's going to be easier for Atlanta to move the ball in the air than it will be on the ground, even with Bijan. So give me Drake London.
And George.
So I'm going to go with Zay Flowers, going up 23rd worst passing defense in Detroit. Zay Flowers has averaged 12.3 PPR points per game. He's got his first touchdown in London in Week 6 against the Tennessee. Detroit has allowed 6 receivers in the past 5 games. 6 receivers, 5 games, to score at least 13.2 fantasy PPR points. Zay Flowers has 8 targets in 4 of his 6 outings this season. I'm going with Zay Flowers. I'm trusting more that Lamar Jackson will target Zay Flowers than Desmond Ridder will actually target Drake London.
I changed my mind. I like that.
All right, so that's 2 for Flowers, 1 for Cooper, 1 for Drake. Nino says, keep crushing it, fellas. Thanks, Nino. Appreciate it. Good to hear from you, for sure. C-Law says, Deontay, Javonte, or Rashee Rice. I think the majority here was on Rashee Rice, but I can't remember the math.
I think it was. It was majority of
the majority. Yeah,
I think I'm the one that went Javonte.
You did go Javonte. Okay. Let's see. Wide receiver 2, Sutton, Deontay, or Downs this week. I'm going to say...
I was going to have Justin talk to us about Josh Downs.
Yeah.
So Josh Downs is actually a pretty good wide receiver. I think he's going to end up being a really incredible wide receiver in the NFL. But right now, with this matchup, Cleveland's pass defense is probably the best in the league, in my opinion. They've got some incredible secondary players. So I'm shutting down Downs this week. So and then you got, again, Deontay Johnson. I want it to be Deontay. I really do. But until we see it, just like we keep saying, Sutton is a very similar option there. But Sutton's not coming off of a big injury, and they do have a good matchup. So I guess I'm going to go Sutton here, as much as I hate to say it.
I'm going to say Sutton as well. Just make it easy.
Yep, I'm saying here.
Yeah,
and then
I hate it.
I want Latavius Murray.
Yes, I want Latavius Murray. Out of those three options, we should want Latavius Murray. But I'm going to go Sutton.
All right, so that's all four of us.
There
Another
we go.
week.
Now we've added a better option. All right, let's go Palmer, buddy. I like this one.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll say Palmer as well, I guess.
Agree.
Palmer. All right.
No, don't mummer like it's not a good option. Palmer's going to get you, let's say, 6 catches, 70 yards, and a touchdown this week.
I don't know about the touchdown, but he averages 6 catches and 72 yards in games that Mike Williams has missed. So your 6 catches and 70 yards is right on the money there, Justin.
Look at there. I wasn't even looking at anything except the matchup.
Brandon also says pick 2, Aaron Jones, JT Mostert.
Aaron Jones and Mostert for me.
Definitely Mostert.
Yeah, look, I'm gonna go the same route. I don't know, man.
I mean, Eagles are the best run defense in the league, right? If they're not, they're close.
Yeah, but Mostert could catch the ball.
I'm gonna say Aaron Jones and Mostert because I've already talked badly about JT and I can't take that back now.
Here's the problem: the Eagles
are the 4th best against running backs in PPR.
Okay.
Yeah. But you got to look at who they've played as well. Like they played,
exactly.
They played the Patriots. Ramondre Stevenson has not been great. They played the Vikings. Alexander Madison hasn't been great. Rashard White for the Buccaneers week 3 has not been great. Week Brian Robinson had a decent game against them. He had a decent game against them. The week before that, they played the Rams. Have not been great. They played the Jets last week. Jets beat them. So, they haven't really played very many running backs who you would consider to be, decent running backs. So, yeah, their numbers on defense are fantastic, but that's because they really haven't. It's like the Miami offense, or it's like the Miami record of 5-1. Yeah, the numbers are fantastic, but really they haven't played anyone.
Yeah, I'm going Aaron Jones as my second behind Mostert.
Yeah, I'll lean that.
Sorry, I was trying to look up what Breece Hall did against the Eagles. But anyway, I know he got a touchdown. But I think
he had 12 carries for 39 yards, so he only averaged 3.3 yards per carry with a touchdown. But he also contributed 5 catches for 54 yards.
Yeah, keep in mind that 12 of those yards and that touchdown, they let him walk in so they could get the ball back. So they parted the defense to try and get the ball back for their offense. So it was really 12 carries. It was really 12 carries for 27. Yeah, but we don't expect that same anyway. It was 12 carries for 27 yards. The 5 catches are good, and that's a good counter argument. I like that. So
hey, real quick, just some news real quick for kickers. I know Justin loves kickers. The trainer for the Raiders just pulled Daniel Carson off the field and took him into the blue tent while they were warming up. So if you have a
concussion,
I don't know what's going on, but just something to keep an eye on.
Blue tent doesn't automatically mean concussion.
No, it's any injury, I know, but having a trainer look down from above and be like, oh, so he hit his head he banged his head against the net. Just made me laugh, Justin. I don't know.
Odell Beckham.
Yeah. Just something to make me laugh on a Sunday, man.
I got to make a note of that because I know I've got some Carlson.
Yeah, that's the reason why I wanted to post that up, especially for all you Scott Fishbowl players that have multiple kickers in your lineup.
So we've only got a couple minutes and a lot of questions, so we're going to burn through some of these. Let's see. J Money says, Foreman or Jerome Ford in the flex and half PPR.
Foreman
or Jerome Ford. George, go.
Foreman.
Yeah, Foreman here too. He's going to get a bulk of the carries there today. So
Foreman, he's facing the Raiders.
Yep.
And as we heard earlier, they suck at everything except for the pass. Let's see. James Cook at New England. Duanta Foreman versus Vegas. Half PPR, please and thank you. Bobby Ham, good to see you. Now this is a tough one, right? But I'm gonna say James Cook.
Me too.
yeah, same here.
Volume.
I'm going Foreman. What? You guys crazy.
Foreman to have volume too and everything. But
Raiders
James,
allow 130. The Raiders have given 3 rushing touchdowns in the last 2 weeks, and the Raiders allow 130 combo yards to running back. And Foreman's going to get the bulk of the workload there. It's Foreman.
Yeah, you know what? George convinced me. On top of that, he's been hyping up Latavius Murray all freaking show. So he's going to get all the touchdowns just because George is saying, been talking Latavius Murray all week. So I'll go Deontay Foreman.
Well, now it's 2-2, guys.
Well,
okay, we
also,
Bobby.
we have to consider that James Cook gets a lot of the receiving downs situations, and Foreman only has 3 catches all year.
Well, he's been inactive all year.
Well, he did play 3. He did play 3 games, so he's averaging 1 catch per game.
All right, so that's 2 versus 2, Bobby. It's up to you, but and then Dustin, we did go back and answer it, so I hope you heard it. I think 3 of us said Flowers and 1 of us said JSN. Black Body Absorber, don't hit the like button. Subscribe, everybody. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Andrew Miller, pick a running back 2 and then a flex. Let's do running back Gibbs, JT, Ramondre. Well, let's just go ahead and do all 3. I'm gonna go Gibbs and Ramondre. Oh, sorry, I'm gonna say Gibbs and Pittman in this one. Gibbs and Pittman.
Gibbs and Ramondre for me.
So we're just doing the running back and the flex for now?
Yeah. It's just a running back and a flex. We're picking a running back 2 and a flex.
Oh, gotcha. All right, let me look something up real quick.
I'm going to go, while he's looking up, I'm going to go Gibbs. And I'm going to go Pittman too.
So that's 2 of us. So unless Justin likes Ramondre.
Okay, I obviously I like Pittman. I'm a Colts fan, but again, that Cleveland pass secondary is incredible. So I think I'm going to go with Ramondre here, and honestly, I just from the sheer workload, from what I'm hearing, I think Gibbs and JT are typically would be pretty close here, but I think JT is going to get a lot more opportunity. So give me JT and Ramondre.
I'm going to switch so I can help you, Andrew. I'm going to switch to Ramondre. For me, it was close. So I'm going to say Gibbs and Ramondre so that we have a consensus. Let's see. My only question today, Kittle or Josh Palmer in the flex? I'm going to say Josh Palmer because he won't get you 0. And I like Kittle. If I had to play him in tight end, I'd be playing him at tight end. And then with Debo out, it could be a Kittle game, but like we've seen, should be Kittle games become 1 catch for 2-yard games for Kittle as well. That won't happen with Josh Palmer. So Josh Palmer for me.
Josh Palmer.
I agree with where you're going there. The safer floor is Josh Palmer. The higher upside is Kittle. So if you feel like you need huge points, you got to go Kittle. But chances are you just need a safe floor here, being a flex. So I'd probably lean towards Palmer as well.
Yeah, look, I'll go Palmer too, but this could be a 3-touchdown week for Kittle too, and
yeah,
that's what I hate about it. But yeah, I mean, you got to go Palmer.
Jenna NC, pick 1: Jahan Dotson, Wan'Dale Robinson, or Javonte Williams. For me, it's Wan'Dale Robinson.
Yep, I like Wan'Dale this week. He's getting more opportunities, getting more targets every week. I do like him this week. He is a great DFS play too if you guys are in DFS. So,
nope.
Well, Justin, somebody.
All right, I talked bad about Javonte Williams here, but man, I think Yeah, I'm going to stick with Wandell as well. I really do like the matchup, and even though he's not the safest play that you could imagine, he's probably the safest of this group. So
he definitely has a floor, no less than 4 receptions in the last 4 weeks, but 5, and then last week was 8. Like they're looking his way, and it didn't matter which quarterback was playing. Last week was Tyrod, and he had 8. So,
and like you said, we're answering it as if it's PPR, so that gives them at least 4 more points. So, yeah.
Yep.
For me, it's Javonte.
Okay. Let's see. Oh, and it is full PPR.
Okay.
And then Bobby, love y'all too. Yeah, we missed you. Andrew, Logan Thomas or Michael Mayer?
Yes, please.
Man, Michael has been getting much more work in that offense. Logan Thomas had a down week, but it should be a good week against the Giants. So
Michael Mayer, his percentages the last 4 weeks: 40%, 51%, 66%, 81%. Chicago allows 6.5 catches per game to opposing tight ends and 55 yards per game. Only 2 tight ends have scored a touchdown against Chicago, though. But I'm still going to go with Michael Mayer here.
Yeah, I really like Logan Thomas this week, but I think Michael Mayer is kind of a no-brainer over Logan Thomas just from what we've seen in recent weeks, and also backup quarterback throwing to the dump off guys, which are typically your running backs and tight ends. So I'll say Mayer before we let Rich go, because then he'll just seem like a homer when he says it.
Well, interesting fact that you say that. I have Logan Thomas ranked 7th, and I have Michael Mayer ranked 10th. If I'm going to go off my rankings, as much as I like Michael Mayer this week and stuff like that, I got to go Logan Thomas. He has a slight edge for me.
All right.
I have Logan Thomas ranked higher. However, to not split 2 and 2, I think they're both good options. I'm going to go ahead and say these guys convinced me for Mayer. But like I said, both good options, and this is a good time to plug our waiver document that you get if you're a Patreon, because Mayer was our pickup this week, one of our 2 pickups at tight end this week. We laid a whole bunch of stats out on why. So just a plug, if you are a Patreon, you do get our waiver wire. We release that like Monday night, so you get it before everybody else puts their stuff out.
Hey, and if you guys don't see the trend, Michael Mayer is trending in October. So I think he's going with the Michael Myers approach.
All right, Bobby Ham, Foreman or Flowers? I'm going to say Foreman.
Yep.
Yeah. Ty goes to the running back.
Yep,
yeah, Ty goes to the running back.
3 out of 4. He also said Deontay Johnson or Romeo Doubs rest of season.
I can take this one. I think if you're looking for high upside, then you want to keep Romeo Doubs, because he does have that crazy ability to get 2 touchdowns a game. But I think Deontay Johnson season long will end up with more targets and more receptions, so he's going to be your safer floor.
Correct.
100%.
This looks like a week 8 question, but he has to get it in now because James Cook plays on Thursday against Buffalo versus Tampa. So James Cook or Dameon Pierce, without knowing injuries or whatever.
Yeah, I'm going to go Dameon Pierce here. I don't like very many running backs going to get against Tampa. And then you add in the fact that it's a Thursday night game, where typically Thursday night games are just gross. So I'll go with Dameon Pierce here versus Carolina.
I'm personally going to say James Cook because of the receptions. Like a couple of weeks ago, nobody really wanted Kamara, and look, he didn't have a great game against Tampa, but it was 13 receptions for 30 some odd yards. Yeah, that's gross for the NFL, but it's 16 PPR points. So in the PPR, I'm going to take James Cook.
I agree.
Let's see. Chad Roan, Hunt or Madison in standard? Madison's playing the 49ers and Hunt's playing the Colts.
Oh, man. I'm glad I didn't say it. Jason, I was going to say James Cook doesn't even have 13 catches on the season. Never mind 13 in one game, but that would be wrong. He has 14 on the season. So we can't act like he's a big PPR play running back. He's really not.
That's fine. Chad Rohn
James
says
Cook?
Hunt. Huh?
Are you saying James Cook?
Yeah.
14 receptions after
According
6 games.
According to Pro Football Reference, I'm looking at it right here. He's
No,
had
I'm saying
18 targets, 14 receptions.
Okay, yeah, I get what you're saying. I'm saying, what does that rank among the NFL though? That's still a decent amount of receptions for a running back.
I'll get you that in just a second. It's not as good as you would think.
Hey guys, we can do that. It's actually past when we're supposed to close out the show, which I don't mind because I want to answer all the questions, but
Gotcha.
that doesn't leave us time for these side little conversations. So Kareem Hunt or Madison in standard. Let's start there.
I guess give me Madison, just because I do see the Colts run defense, and I know that Hunt is still the number 2, even though he's taking on almost as much of a workload as Ford. I guess give me Madison, but I don't really like either of these options. I feel bad for you, Chad.
I'm going Madison too.
George?
I think
I'm going to go
said
Madison.
All right, now I'll play odd man out, and I'll say Hunt, but it's 3-1. Let's see. Watson, Christian Watson or Godwin, full PPR. I'm going to say Godwin. He's had 2 very solid games with Baker. It looks like they're finally linking up after starting the season going all to Mike Evans.
Yeah, Godwin.
Let's see. Brandon, we're the best year after year. Andrew, thanks for the help. And we don't have a lot of time for this, unfortunately, so we'll have to push this off to next week. Prosciutto or Suppressata?
I don't know what either of those things are. Yeah.
So just based off the fact that I know what prosciutto is, I'm taking prosciutto.
Yeah, I'm more of a McDonald's or Wendy's kind of guy. So,
and I'm going to say Starbucks.
Give me the prosciutto.
I don't think. No, they're deli meats, man. They're deli meats.
Oh,
all right, guys. That is all of our questions. Thank you for everybody who watched, who asked questions, who comes back week after week. We appreciate every single one of you. George has got his finger up.
James Cook is 19th in the NFL in receptions for running backs, just running backs.
All right. So, but we do want to thank everybody who likes, comments, all that kind of stuff. We couldn't be here Sunday morning without these questions, even from that Justin Stephans guy who asked a ton of them this week. But everything that you guys do for us makes it so we can do this show on Sunday morning. Also, remember, go to our Gilded chat. We have, if you're not in it, you can email us or hit us up on Twitter, and we will get you in the Gilded chat. And that way you can do stuff like our giveaway that Coach mentioned earlier in the show for the Yeti cooler he's going to give away. Also, we can talk about Rival Sports one more time. Joinrival.com/titletribe. Again, they'll match up to your deposit, your $200 deposit. They'll match your first deposit up to $200, and then you can get a bonus $25 if you use the code Title Tribe or our link with Title Tribe. So joinrival.com/titletribe. And again, Patreon. We have tiers for every salary. So $1.50 tier all the way up to George Comes Whisper Sweet Nothings in your ear. He even week 18 he'll come whisper Dolphins Eagles in your ear if that's what you need to get you through. So he can keep doing that. And again, thank you to all of our newest Title Tribe members. You can see their names down below. And then if you're a member of the Frankenstank League, that's the other thing. Justin got packs of cards for all the monsters. It's $20 for a pack of cards. And then how much is it per card, Justin?
So it's $10 if you just want your monster card from the Frank. It's $20 if you want a full pack. But if you're a Patreon, we'll give you a full pack for $15, which pretty much just kind of covers my shipping.
All right. So they're cool monster cards that go with our listener league. And they're a cool memento for playing in this year's version of our listener league, the Frankenstein League. So, guys, with that said, happy Sunday to all y'all from George, Justin, Rich, myself. Good luck this week.